The category is dance.
Back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, Lady Gaga took the music world by storm by just making some great music and great albums, that being The Fame and Born This Way, her first two albums absolutely going buck wild, before dropping Art Pop in 2013, confusing a lot of people, and then completely changing direction in 2016's Joanne. And since then, her comeback album just a couple of years ago didn't really resonate with me as much as her other releases, but now, on March 7th, we got her new album, Mayhem, coming out, and I gotta say, this is the first time in a long time I have been excited for a Lady Gaga album for the purpose that it's kind of almost like the Lady Gaga that I remember. She's using this artistic kind of view to, show us what this new era is going to be. Kind of like, the artistic stuff you saw in maybe like the music video for Alejandro and Paparazzi, as her recent song, Abracadabra, really reminds me of those music videos. Along with the sound also kind of sounding art poppy, but I still like that album more than others. She does have two other singles out, Disease, which was the second single. That one's kind of, been like what she had been doing, say, on Joanne or her most recent record. And of course, there's the big one so far, Die With A Smile, featuring Bruno Mars, which that was just a surprise that Bruno Mars decided, hey, I'm gonna come back and do my thing as a solo artist because it's been so long. He had been doing the Silk Sonic thing, but it's just an excellent ballad of a song and a good comeback for Lady Gaga, although yes, different, still very, very good. Plus, last year she had a semi-big year. I know Joker Fully a Dude didn't really do all that well at the box office or wasn't received fairly well, although again I made a whole video as to why I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be. Gaga herself also released an album called Harlequin to kind of be the soundtrack for the movie, because if you watch the movie, all those songs on that album appear in the movie. It's songs that her and Joaquin Phoenix sing. So, needless to say, we've already gotten a Lady Gaga album, but this one is strictly Lady Gaga. This isn't for anything that she's doing. This isn't, a Star Is Born soundtrack or a Joker soundtrack. It is a new album, and I gotta say, it's nice to see and hear this from her again, because I'd kind of thought she had lost that edge that made her interesting. It seemed like she just started making, bland pop music, kind of, shying away from what made her great, but, she's still making, simple pop music, but the art direction has always been what has been intriguing to me with her, and the fact that she's going back and kind of doing that while kind of throwing us back to her old sound from, say, something off of her first three records, as like I said, each single in itself that's released so far is different from itself. It's got me super invested, super interested again, and for a fact that I will be reviewing that album when it comes out, so stay tuned for that on March 7th. All in all, she could have had a big fall off like Katy Perry, but here she is, continuing into her 40s, doing her thing, and just not afraid to, again, bend the artistic value of what she can do, while still making good music in the process, and also going off and doing other things like movies. She's still able to do all of these things and stay relevant to an audience that, I was like 10, 11 years old when she released her debut album, and here I am at 26 going, oh, it's cool to see Lady Gaga still going and still getting the attention that she deserves, because a lot of artists, especially, a lot of women pop artists, would have fallen off at this point in time because they're getting older, which is sad to say. It's a real thing that happens, but with Lady Gaga, that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Is she as big as she once was? You could argue yes or no, but she's still a big part of pop music and still a very, very intriguing artist that is making some solid music and continuing her legacy almost, 20 years. I think we're pushing, 17 years since her debut album came out, so that's amazing in itself. But those are just my thoughts. I'd really like to hear in the comments below what you think of this new Lady Gaga era. How excited are you for the new album? And what do you think is going to come next from her after this album? Because she, again, just when it seems like she's gone quiet for a while, she always seems to pop up and do something else and kind of, piques our interest even more into what she's doing. So, yeah, that's it for me. Stay safe out there, and until then, I will catch you all in the next one.
Yes, queen, slay, slay, slay your